There are currently two affordable options for a full frame camera from Blackmagic Design: Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K and the new Pyxis. The Pyxis sensor is the exact same sensor that's inside the full frame Cinema Camera 6K. It does the same frame rates, all the same cropping for the different resolutions and the different frame rates. It's exactly the same on the inside. Let's get into the differences since we've already talked about the similarities, which is the sensor. The Pyxis comes in at $2,995. The Cinema Camera 6K comes in at $2,595. You get two CF Express cards that you can put inside the camera. I carry two CF Express cards with me for this camera, and I can only put one in at a time, but it's nice having that option to have two of them stored in there. The other addition is the SDI ins and outs. You can do an SDI in if you want to add time code, and an SDI out for professional HD and 4K monitoring. The big improvement is the large battery and longer battery life. They claim that it can shoot for 3 hours. To get that type of time on something like this, you need to add the battery pack that basically uses 3 of the 550 batteries. The other addition to the Pyxis that the Cinema Camera 6K doesn't provide is the lens mount options. The Pyxis does offer EF mount, PL mount, or L mount. If you decide to go with the Cinema Camera 6K, you're only doing the L mount. I was okay with that because converting EF glass to L has been great. I found two adapters. One's a bare bones adapter, one does the electronics, so I don't have a problem with that. I feel like if you are a solo shooter, solo creator, the Cinema Camera 6K is your better option. Why is that? Right out of the gate, you don't need to buy an external monitor. You just throw in your memory card and your lens, you're ready to go. I don't mind the DSLR look on this. I don't mind the grip. Since this switched to L mount, there's a shorter barrel distance on here, which makes it easier for mounting on gimbals like the RS3 Pro. Whereas the Pyxis, it's not so much box, it's a little bit more rectangular, so it's longer. So that could become a problem with a gimbal. More importantly, with the Pyxis, you're going to have to invest in a lot of gear to use this. Unless you're just going to mount it on a tripod, you're going to need a grip, you're going to need a monitor. The Pyxis has a side monitor. And one of the things that I really love about the Pocket 6K Pro and the new Cinema Camera 6K is the monitor that comes with the camera. It's big enough that I don't need an external monitor, but more importantly, all of the controls for your aperture, your shutter speed, your frame rate, your frame guides, everything's right on that monitor. I find it a little puzzling that Blackmagic on the Pyxis decided to put the monitor on the left-hand side. The thing to remember is your clients, yourself, your audience are going to judge the final product, not the camera that you use. More importantly, how you tell a story. I think it's exciting that Blackmagic has these new cameras out. I'm sure there are people who have use for the box camera. My concern at this point is how much gear is out there. Now, I'm sure they'll roll out gear. With companies like Tilta and SmallRig, they are always making accessories for all these different brands of cameras. With the Pyxis, you need to invest in and be prepared to add some accessories to that camera to be able to start using it. And with the Cinema Camera 6K, it is more solo friendly. It's ready to go right out of the gate. So there are the pros and cons between the two, and maybe it's more about the similarities and differences between the two. And the pro or the con is going to depend on you and how you plan on using these cameras. I'm really happy with the image quality that this thing gives me. And if you do get the Pyxis, you're gonna get that same great image quality. Shooting an open gate is wonderful. Having full frame is such a great, coming from Super 35 for over a decade, it does make it feel like I have new lenses now. So that's a really good thing to have. You can't go wrong with either choice. Thank you again for watching, everybody. Take care. Peace.